Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Why Did I Lose? Today's lesson is going to be about not grouping up and losing momentum by making solo plays instead. So, we're going to look at the Dire team, and if you look at the draft, Morphling is probably the strongest hero in the game. We don't really want to go into the late game against Morphling because our heroes are going to struggle to kill him when we get to that point. But that's kind of okay, because in the mid game, we're pretty strong. We have a Tiny, a Bloodseeker, a Weaver, fairly strong heroes, while Morphling needs to be farming to the late game. We have good team fight spells with Snapfire, ult, and Rupture, so we need to make things happen and put ourselves in a position around this time until about 25 to 30 minutes. And at that point, we need to be in a position where we can win. So here is an example of how we can win, by playing together. What we have two heroes here, two heroes here for the Dire. There's 4 heroes up here, and we can make plays together. So this Rubik tries to walk up here. We're going to start killing her, killing him. Ogre's going to pay the price, but because we had some heroes close by, we end up working together, combining our spells, and getting 2 kills. We trade Ogre Magi for Rubik and Witch Doctor, and if we keep playing, eventually we're going to get this tower. Because we have a bunch of heroes up here, just got some kills, now we can turn it into tower pressure. That is good. That is how we want to play the game. What we're going to see for the next roughly 10 minutes or so is that not happen. So in fact, I even missed it. Weaver here playing a little bit low health, a little risky, and ends up getting killed like so. Now, this will happen. No big deal. If it happens once, that's fine. But we're going to see several cases of something like this happening, where someone in the Dire team wastes a spell or dies on their own, and that hurts our ability to do anything. Because right now, what should be happening is that anytime Snapfire has ult, Snapfire should tell her team, let's group up. I have my ultimate, force an objective. If the enemy team comes to fight, I am going to use my extremely powerful ultimate. Hopefully, we'll combine some other spells with that too and get some kills and take a building. Or anytime Bloodseeker has Rupture, he should say that and say, I have Rupture, let's go look for a kill or a team fight. Rupture's lower cooldown is very useful as like a pick-off ability, so it can just be a gank, or maybe you can do a full team fight using Rupture since it kind of counters Centaur's ult. Either is okay. The point is, that's what should be happening. Every time these abilities are up, we group up and we force something to happen. So right now we have Snapfire ult and we should be grouping, but we just lost Weaver, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we can still push top and that'll be fine. And look, they don't contest us because we already killed their heroes up here, they weren't ready to respond, and I had my ultimate if they did fight. Now if we come over here though, a fight's gonna break out here. What do we have? We have 3 enemy heroes. Ogre's a little bit by himself, though Tiny is nearby. Still, it's 3 to 2 heroes. And now Tiny comes in. Look how close she is to dying. What if we had 1 or 2 more spells here? You know, we're taking a lot of damage, and by the time something happens, look how many heroes they have. They have their whole team here. And now our team is here. We were a little slower to get here. Again, sometimes it just happens, but it can't happen too often. If it happens too often, we start to lose, and that's what's happening. So now we try to use Rupture, but we're already down 1 hero. And Snapfire, I think you probably should be ulting here instead of walking in like this. The ult is a little bit more impactful, so this fight might have actually worked out if Snapfire had used ult. But I think it would also be okay to just kind of back off from it as well, because you had already lost Weaver. But now we've lost Bloodseeker, and we used Rupture, didn't get anything out of it, and we lost some heroes. So, you know, again, 1 individual fight lost. Is it that bad? No, except that, you know, each fight we lose is kind of buying the enemy team 30 to 40 more seconds as we wait to respawn, or maybe even longer. Maybe it's 110 seconds like this ultimate cooldown, or 70 seconds from this ult cooldown. Now Tiny's gonna die. Another 46 seconds that is given to the enemy team to get through this mid-game. Now here we see another example where, like, we want to group up and get things done, But if you use Rupture by yourself on a support under their tower, it's going to be tough. Well, maybe Snapfire can ult here, but then we've used Rupture and Snapfire ult on a Witch Doctor. And it doesn't feel very good to do that. Now going for this solo kill, though, it's very hard when we don't really know where the enemy team is. And now, in fact, we see that there are 3 heroes here, and now he even dies. And because we're kind of panicking, trying to help him, now we use Snapfire ult, but it's not going to lead to anything because it was a bit uncoordinated. Like, we didn't have a combined team effort. From there, we're going to lose another hero. And they feel comfortable to do this because Bloodseeker is dead. If Bloodseeker was alive, they'd be a lot more scared to just come over to this side. The enemy team is constantly grouped up, which is... it's actually in your favor if you're also grouped up, because I think you guys have a lot stronger team fight. But instead, you're kind of playing the way this team should be playing, where they should be split up trying to farm, and you guys should be grouped forcing objectives. And if you group and they group, that actually benefits you because you're going to use like Bloodright to silence a whole group of them, Snapfire, ult, Rupture, the whole shebang, and you guys were a little bit ahead at the start of this, but now we are not. Kind of the same thing happens right here. Another solo Rupture under this tower. She's higher level because we've made enough mistakes at this point where we're no longer in the lead, even if we might still feel like it. Oh, look, she's kind of low. What if we had another hero here, like a Tiny, to come toss her into us? She's dead, you know? Or maybe Snapfire. Well, her ultimate's off cooldown, but maybe she can W in, Q. Like, any extra burst spells here could help get a kill. Now, of course, this is like a very difficult spot to fight because we're like behind their tier 1. But if we really wanted to force a fight and all of us were here, it would be kind of okay. Because if we were all here, look, they're rotating in one at a time, which means we would be taking a fight 5-on-2 right now. Quap would be dead before this guy even finishes his teleport. And then it would be a 5 on these two. And then if anyone else wants to teleport in, these guys are fighting 2v5 for like 3 to 5 seconds by the time anyone else rotates in. That is a good fight for us. But this kind of solo movement that leads to nothing. Now, even though Bloodseeker survives, we don't have Rupture for 70 seconds. And if we go back to that idea, it's like every time Rupture or Snapfire ult is up, we should be grouping and doing something. But if we're using it by ourselves, our reason to get together, the cooldown on the ults, like, should we get together now? No, the ult is on cooldown. All right, so I guess we'll just split up and farm, even though that's not what we want to do. We want to be doing things together to push ourselves into a win. So now Rupture is down. We have to wait. Snapfire ult just came up, though. So now could be a great time to start grouping up and doing stuff again. But before we get that chance, we end up in another unfavorable fight. This part is not fully your fault. Like, you thought maybe Morphling was alone, so you guys try to go on him. Turns out the whole enemy team is here. And they are gonna kill us. And because of that, now we have Snapfire ult, but our team is dead. So now we have at least 44 seconds we have to wait before we can do anything. By the time Rupture comes up, we would love to make a play, but the best hero to make a play with, Tiny, he's dead. Oh, no. Now we gotta wait for Tiny before we can make a Rupture play. So you see how, like, all these things are happening, and we keep having to wait. We have to wait for our abilities, we have to wait for people to be alive. All we wanted to do was, like, group up when we had our abilities and all of our heroes, but just, it never really happened. And Bloodseeker's gonna run down Queen of Pain in this case. Actually, let's watch. Let's see, what do you guys do from here? You know what, because she's dead for a little bit, and Rupture will be up by the time Tiny's up. We have Snapfire ult, so right now could be a good time to force something, actually, because Queen of Pain is dead. I don't know if you guys know she has her ultimate or not, but the fact she's dead means she can't use it. Let's see what happens in these next 44 seconds. Do we take advantage of this and group up and push? Ogre TPing top. So, probably not going to group up and push this mid lane. That's where Tiny goes. Tiny, also TPing top. So, Queen of Pain was dead. We actually ended up having all of our abilities, Rupture and Snapfire ult. But we're just splitting up again. Now let's see if you guys group up, actually. And this will be the end of our video. Let's see how long it takes for either one of you to get picked off or for you guys to group up. And it looks like someone's going to get picked off because you have 2 heroes up here, 2 in mid, and 1 down here. And that whole idea of taking a good team fight with all our abilities is definitely not going to happen because Snapfire ult is long range, but it's certainly not going to hit top or bottom lane from the mid lane. So let's watch. I see some heroes coming bottom, so if I had to guess, it's Bloodseeker who might die here. Alright, Bloodseeker's our highest net worth hero. Can we group up without Bloodseeker? We have 4 heroes finally together, but no Bloodseeker. And in fact, now you're trying to rotate because you saw Bloodseeker in need, but that's going to put you in the bottom lane, so now you're not even with them. Now, maybe because you saw 4 heroes bottom, or 3, I kind of lost track already, I forget. Maybe the 4 of you could, like, go push top, but it wouldn't be ideal. And right now, we have another 50 seconds. We have to wait for Bloodseeker, and we can't really use our ultimate right now, because if we used it without Bloodseeker, it's a little bit of a waste, which means we are being a bit inefficient. Ideally, we use our ultimates as frequently as possible, as long as it makes sense. You know, we're not just like ulting creeps, just use it off cooldown. But what it does mean is that when it's about to come off cooldown, you say, hey, let's group up and push mid, so that by the time it is off cooldown, it's like, hey, I'm in a perfect scenario where I could use my ultimate right here if they try to fight us. And then they try to fight you, you use your ultimate, and you're like, wow, I barely had to wait any time at all. But actually, I think we've been waiting a really long time for this ultimate. I don't think we've used it since that, like, one failed use here. Or maybe I missed it, you know? Can we fight this? We need multiple heroes to rotate down here. Their teleports are still on cooldown. Are they going to come down here? Oh, no! So you use your ultimate to defend the tower. And I guess you did, but now what does that mean? 100 seconds. Bloodseeker's respawning now. He's finally up. We could group push because we're not really that far behind. We could still win team fights if we get together. But now we have to wait another 100 seconds because we don't have Mortimer's Kisses. And without Mortimer's Kisses, it's pretty hard to win a team fight. That is a big part of our fight. I think you guys can see the point that by being a little disorganized, I know it's hard. I know Dota's really complicated. So it's like you keep losing, like people are trying to do their own thing. Someone dies, and you don't really notice it happening until like suddenly you're just behind. And we started about 2k ahead, and now the enemy team has been getting all the kills, and now they're 2k ahead, and Morphling has now taken over net worth. At this point, the game still looks pretty even, but it shouldn't really be, because Morphling should be pretty weak right now. He should not be, you know, top of net worth and the game in their favor. It should be in your favor right now if you want to win. The fact that it's slightly in their favor at 22 minutes, it means they're probably going to win. Now, of course, at this point, you guys could still do what we talked about. You could still group together, try to win some fights, and it might work, and you might end up winning. But notice we started at about 15 minutes, so that could have been something we did 7 minutes ago to make the game easier for us, when the game was easier because we were in the lead. Now, if we want to do it, it could work, but it's harder, and that's kind of the point of the series. So, thanks for watching. I hope that helped. You learned a lesson. If you're playing in a party, here's what I recommend. Snapfire ult. Anytime this is up, all get together. When I used to play a bunch of party games, the easiest, we did really well when I played Death Prophet. Because anytime my ultimate was close to being off cooldown, I would tell them. I'd be like, all right, get together. I have my ultimate. We're going to go push a tower. We would all get together. I would use my ultimate. We would take the tower. And then I'd tell them, all right, everyone leave me alone because I don't have my ultimate. So we would just spread out and farm. And then as it got close again, I would tell them, all right, everyone get together. We're going to go push an objective. Playing as a team, pick your strongest abilities and make a plan off of that. Anytime Mortimer's Kisses is up, you know, you tell them, okay, you have 100 seconds to go farm. When this gets close, like 20 seconds, tell them, like, hey, it's almost off cooldown. Make your way towards mid. By the time everyone gets to mid and starts pushing this lane, Mortimer's Kisses is ready. As soon as it's ready, you're already in position. The difference is like waiting for it to be up and then tell everyone it's up. And now it's like, okay, now everyone come mid. You know, that takes like 30 seconds that we're wasting when we could have just used our ultimate. So tell them ahead of time. get yourselves to group up, do something, you know, push this mid tower, a fight breaks out, use your ultimate, win the fight, take this tower. Do you have to force another objective? No. You don't have Mortimer's Kisses yet. Back off. Leave. Wait for this. Then go again. All right? Maybe that should have been the lesson, but I already said it was solo plays or whatever. It's all the same thing. I don't know what to call it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.